wrote that God said person my husband, I wrote the date, and I was just, when you think that you have written down what you will use as testimony to. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bologi Steven, and this is Let's Talk Love with Bologi Steven. This is your first time, welcome. So today I want to give you guys gist, like story time. I know it's been a while we had story time, right? I have so many stories, but yeah, this is story time with Bologi, right? And I think I remember this story at work. We're working on something in the office, and then we're talking about times when you thought God spoke to you, but it wasn't really God. And then when the person was talking about it, I'm just like, whoa, I remembered, guys. So that's how I thought that God told me that this certain person was my husband. Guys, I wrote it down in my journal. Like, I wrote the person's name, I wrote that God said person my husband, I wrote the date, and I was just, when you think that you have written down what you will use as testimony to. If I find the journal, I'll actually check for it. If I find it, I'll put it up here for you to see. Of course, I'll blot the name out. So guys, let me give you the full gist, right? Partially full gist. It was the year of the Lord 20. I will not tell you. Anywho, so I like this guy, and things looked like they were going well. Next thing, things just went south, right? Like things just like, when you think like something is going well, and then suddenly is not. And then I had a hard time like accepting, because I felt like, this is it now. This is my last bus stop. I'm not dropping, like this is where we are. So I had a really hard time accepting it. And then I was going through a discipleship program in church, and part of the exercise of the discipleship program is there's something called Alone with God. So you'd have like an extended, everybody that is doing the discipleship program would all be taken somewhere, right? It's usually a school, and then everybody would just spread out, take a corner, take a class, and then you'd have extended period, just you, and God, and you're praying and everything. Guys, that is how your sister in the Lord as was one of the major pressing things on my heart. I was praying on top of this matter, and as I was praying there, I do feel like I felt like I heard it's so funny now thinking about it, but I really felt like I heard God say, like, this person is your husband, right? So I now, like, because you're going to pray, right? So you carry your notepad, to write down what the Lord will say to you. I really need to find that book. I really need to find that journal. So I wrote it down and everything, and after like the whole prayer thing, went back, and I was I was holding on to my word for my full chest. I was holding on to my word. But long and short of the story, guys, it pleases the Lord and me to announce that I did not marry that person. So obviously, God did not say, right? But like, I was thinking about it, looking back. Sometimes, right, even if like you feel like you really heard God, the other person is very important in the equation. If the other person does not want or agree or work towards it, it's not gonna work, right? But other times, this one, looking back, I know for certain that it wasn't God. I know for certain that it wasn't God. I know for certain that it was my emotions. Many times we project our emotions, and we want to believe that those emotions are God. And then if you now want to quiz this person that has run with their emotion, they will tell you that the Bible says he will give you the desires of your heart. They forget that the preface the part before that says that delight yourself in the Lord, right? And part of him giving you the desires of your heart is actually that he will change some of your desires to fit his purpose. right? So it's not like just like, oh, your emotions, and then God will just give you all the things that you emotionally desire. That's not what the Bible is saying. Sometimes what your emotions want are not what is best for you. You know what you want, but God knows what you need. And if you delight yourself in Him, He starts to align your desires and your emotions to things that you need, to the things that please Him, right? He will give you the power both to will and to do. Another translation says that He would give you both the power and the desire to do. Can you see? Desire is coming again. So I think another thing that I eventually learned is that I ran with that one thing. A lot of times, especially depending on your level of growth and something as crucial as marriage, that one thing is not enough. Because other things would align. For example, the other person would definitely align, right? That's one. You would have other witnesses, whether it be people or other ways that God is just like confirming His word to you. And eventually with my husband, I experienced this because there were different confirmations that just backed up what I already knew. I had the knowing, but there were still other confirmations around. So it wasn't just like one word that I carried and I ran with. So many times, especially with things or with something as important as marriage, number one, don't be led by your emotions. Don't pretend or try and convince yourself that your emotion is God. The Bible says test all spirits. Test all spirits. If you feel like you have heard, put the hearing to test. Put the hearing to test. And some of the things is like I keep saying the other person, because two cannot work together unless they agree. You cannot hear God and then you are running it. It's a relationship. It's not a one person something, right? So the other person has to also hear God and align. That is ultimate test number one. Then other things, respected people of God in your life would also to a good extent align. To a good extent, there are cases on this one, but that's not the topic of discussion today. And then even with yourself, you have other things that are confirming. You have the inner witness. Sometimes you have the word. Sometimes you have questions and God is answering. All of these things just work together to just buttress the whole thing. So guys, this video is not supposed to be too long. I just wanted to gist you guys that, and as usual, share one or two lessons from that experience. It's funny now. I'm grateful to God I can laugh about it now. But in that season, it really wasn't funny because I honestly thought I heard God. Fortunately, unfortunately at the time, I don't know what word, maybe fortunately is not even the right word to use, but basically it wasn't God I heard, it was my emotions, and that cost me some moments of pain and questioning and all of that. So we must be careful and just master how God speaks to us, so that we're on track as much as possible. And when in doubt, go back to God. When in doubt, always go back to God. If He spoke to you before, He will speak to you again. If He spoke to you before, He will confirm what He said to you, and then you can be for certain. All right, guys. So do you have any experience like that, or something of that nature where you thought you heard God, but it wasn't really God? Maybe it was your emotions. Maybe it was your empty pocket or something. I'd like to know in the comments. And yeah, so this is what I just wanted to share with you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, click the notification bell, and see you next time. Bye.